who thinks that they'll rule the righteous and correct way, or that they'll misinterpret the 14th Amendment and keep him off the ballot. They could, the Supreme Court could, but there's a lot riding on the Supreme Court with this decision, in my opinion, because nobody trusts any of the institutions anymore. They've shown themselves for who they are. There's that thread of maybe belief in the Supreme Court system, but it's just a thread. Because they've already lost a lot of credibility because of, in my opinion anyway, because of all of the cases they should have taken up regarding 2020 and they didn't. So not even they have done the right thing. But this one will make and break them. It will, because ultimately, if they rule in the way you're saying, then what they will be saying is that we side with the dictators. So never again should they act like that they stand by the Constitution or they uphold it, because they will have shown that they themselves, the Supreme Court, the highest of courts, will usurp the people and take away the right of what the people want to vote for. So they will lose all credibility, and then and they will show that they have no credibility. I mean, there's something to be said for public perception. Okay, most Americans don't have any more faith in the system. Don't. We believe in the Constitution, but we see how every institution does not. They disregard the Constitution. They trample all over it. They don't even think about it. They do whatever they want. And if the Supreme Court, those high supreme beings, show that they are going to be no different, then they no longer have credibility. So I don't know how long they think they'll last in their positions. Because once full communism comes in, I mean, once 15-minute cities come in, there's a ton of them that communists will throw off the court. So, I mean, everybody has a vested interest in not wanting communism, okay? And they're already doing 15-minute cities in some areas of the UK. They're already doing it. This is no different than what they do with China with the Uyghurs. They use these facial recognition cameras and all that, and we're already under 24-hour surveillance. But they would just take it to the next level, and that would be for the Supreme Court too. I mean, the Uyghurs, the small Muslim population in China, that's been persecuted because of keeping them under like an open air prison, really, because facial recognition cameras track them everywhere. I think even in their homes, seriously. The bathrooms may be the only place they're not tracked, but so if the Supreme Court throws themselves in the toilet by ruling against the people in this case, then they themselves won't maintain much longer after that, in my opinion, only because they will have given a win to communism. They will have all shown that they are sellouts, that they don't stand by the Constitution, no matter how much legal jargon they want to try to bring to the table and curtsy around. This is why we sided with communists, or this is why we sided with the dictators, these unelected jerk-offs in these states. They will show that they are no different. And what happens after that is anybody's guess. But I will guarantee the American people have sat back. That is the American people that aren't the animals. These people that are doing this, I look at them as people that have no conscience. They have no respect for our Constitution. They're animals. They want violence. They've wanted violence. They've done everything they can to try to provoke the patriotic Americans. And we've sat back and we've hung on just by that thread that the process may just let the process play out, right? But this decision, in my opinion, will make and break the Supreme Court. It will. It will show their fate of if they are going to be a court that is another kangaroo court, no different than all these courts that are going after Trump for bogus bullshit. No different than the Letitia James people who outright said before they got into their positions that they were going to target Trump. They will show that they have no class, no standing, and nobody will trust them anymore. That's what they'll show. It may give this momentary win to the communists, but nobody will ever trust them again because they're already hanging on a ledge as far as the American patriots in this country thinking that they're legit, because we've already seen how every other institution, every politician, they're all illegitimate. They all will cave in because they don't want to do the right thing out of fear. They cave in because they're being bribed, whatever the reasons. And the Supreme Court, if that's how they want to be viewed by the American people, then there's a lot to be said for where they'll be at one day, because they will have helped usher in communism. And if any of those black robes on the Supreme Court think that they'll get to stay in those positions, think again. Communism will be throwing a bunch of those people out. So they would be really stupid to, at this point, side with these dictators and these animals in these states that are playing this game. They should be, if they want to be seen as having any credibility, they should not rule against the people.